Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday carry people. It's your boy Big Canucker. Now, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be taking my Spyderco Southard that I've had this knife for quite some time, and I want to see if I can dye these scales using the red or scarlet Rit dye. Now, I've had this for quite a long time, this Rit dye, and I've just meant to do it forever and ever and ever, and now I want to give it a go. Love this Spyderco Southard. Beautiful, beautiful knife. Just don't know if I'm 100% in love with this color anymore. Just want something to mix it up a little bit. Now, this Rit dye here is, I think this is for clothes and stuff like that. It's the only Rit dye that I could find here in Lethbridge, Alberta. So that's where I live. I'm a big Canucker, and I've seen some online that people use synthetic dye, but I'm going to see if I can give this a go. I think to add a little bit of vinegar to the water will do something for you. So I will give this a go. So this is the concentrate, one little pouch. You're supposed to mix it with some water, bring it to a light boil, and you soak your scales in there, and we'll give her a go. You're going to come along for a ride with me here. So that is what I'm going to do. So for now, I'm going to take this sucker apart and get the scales off that I would like to take and use to, oh my goodness, this could be the day here when these have, might be old enough where this needs to, this has the red thread locker on it. So you never know. I don't think I've ever taken this apart. So I'm going to try a little bit different screwdriver here, and we'll see if we can get it going. Let's see. Nope. Too big. Let's try something a little bit smaller here. Yeah, let's give that a go right here. So this is a little bit more grip on this. Now let's just see what happens. There we go. Just took a little bit of muscle, a little bit of elbow grease. As you can see, I haven't had this apart for such a long time. Okay, so we set this down. This goes off to that side. And of course, we're going to have to do this side too, because there is not only the little scale, but there's also a G10 over travel stop too as well that's on there. And while I have this part, oh, you can see, oh my goodness. Man, Spyderco loves their thread lockers, eh? They sure love their clear. It's like a white thread locker, really, is what it is. Let's just try something here. Yeah. Give this a go. See if that'll pop right off, and it does. Oh, there we go. And let's close that back up. And let's do these little small screws. Now, of course, I'm going to have to take apart my my lanyard here, because yeah, I'll probably have to cut it and retie one, because I don't think I'm going to be able to retie this. Who knows? I've got some stuff on there that's some almost like a rubber band material here that we sell, that basically you take it and you stretch it on itself, and it almost like it vulcanizes to one piece. And this was just bugging me a little bit, this lanyard here, so I ended up doing that. And yeah, so it now has become one piece. So let's just see if we can cut it, see if we can untie this lanyard rather than cut the whole thing. Using my Spidey Chef here. World famous Spidey Chef. Don't want to cut myself. And yeah, I think I am going to be better off just cutting this whole thing right off. Yes, doesn't seem to be cutting off, so let's do that. Done like dinner. Oh well, I'll just have some fun redoing my lanyard. And of course, here's another little piece. I love this thing. It's actually a trim tool for taking off automotive trim. Just works really, really well for in a knife. It doesn't. Here, let's take that out here. All right. Let's try knocking that right out. Yes, what I think the issue is inside there you've got a lanyard tube, and those lanyard tubes are such a pain sometimes to come apart. Ah, there we go. Popped off just like that. And now let's pop off our scale. There we go. Yeah, she's pretty darn dirty. Looks like I am going to have to give this a darn good cleaning. And all right. So, titanium liner with a titanium scale. There we go. Now, this is a little bit older Spyderco Southard, so you'll see that here you've got your extremely thin washers. And over time, I'm not sure if you can tell, but these washers seem to cup a little bit. And they never seem to get completely, totally free spinning as much as I think they should. So that can go over that side there. Yeah, so not only are we going to have to dry these, we'll also give this a real good cleanup before we put it back together. But you can see that there's that. Now, I don't know if this scale comes off this titanium or not. No, I think she might be glued on there. So, all right, so I'm going to be dyeing these two pieces here red. I'm going to get my RIT dye together and set up in the kitchen. And once I'm set up in the kitchen, I will give you guys a new setup here, and we'll get back in the kitchen. All right. All right. It's the Big Canucker back here, and I'm actually back in my kitchen, and so I have to keep the windows open. So if you hear some trucks go by, you hear my dogs bark, just take it with a grain of salt, please, because I'm going to be boiling up this RIT dye and some vinegar, and I've heard it doesn't smell too good. Now, I am going to be mixing up my pack of RIT dye. I took my Spyderco Southard apart, and now I've got my scales here on a little hook here that I basically kind of fashioned together out of an old metal stanchion on a file holder. And so I've also got the little tiny piece here too as well, the stop. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, now you'll have to please forgive me here a little bit. So while I kind of adjust this camera, might get a little shaky. I've only got the one camera set up for now, but I'm not a filmographer or a director of photography, so forgive it. So what I'm going to be doing is, following the directions of the RIT dye. Now it says mix it with 500 milliliters of water, which is a cup of water, but then I was reading on the directions a little bit more, and it said, I guess, enough water to kind of do the job. Now, because there is different RIT dyes available, and this one here, I don't know if it's the synthetic one, but I was also told to get a cup full of vinegar and put it in the water too as well. And we will see how that works. So, I mean, all we can do is try, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is moving the camera, and I'm going to be mixing up my RIT dye, bringing it to a low boil, and then I will bring the camera back, and we'll continue on with this little bastardized experiment. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we've got here about, in this large pot, we've got probably about that much water, And now we're going to be adding a cup of pure white vinegar to the mixture, and then I'm going to be adding the dye, and then I'm going to be stirring it up. Now it says to use like almost a cup. So it says to use the something to stir it up with that you don't mind getting dyed, and I will do that too as well. So let's drop that in there. Oh, and I'm going to stir it up just this little cedar spoon that I kind of have been whittling, and this is just kind of a reject. I just want to try something out, so I was bored one day, so I made a little tiny spoon. So we'll use that to stir up our RIT dye with. Okay, so let us put this pure white vinegar away for a second. Let's dump our package of RIT dye in there. Oop, I'll be right back. I forgot one important safety. I forgot my gloves. That is a huge thing. You definitely want to be, well, yeah, if you don't want to have red hands, or look like you, I don't know, are trying to wash the blood off, then maybe you'll want to put some gloves on. So this is one full package going of the dye concentrate going in my little mixture, and wow, it looks really, really nice, folks. Huh. All right. Give it a little bit, get the rest of it in there, and let's give it a stir up. Now, they say that you want to bring it to a boil, but just a kind of a small rolling boil. Couple of things too as well is anything that this dye comes in contact with, it is going to dye it. So know that you are not going to be saving this pan afterwards to be cooking your spaghetti in. Or this spoon too as well is going to be dyed as well. So as you can see, she's kind of dyed. So we'll come back when it's at a low boil, and then we will take it from there and we'll dip our scales in. Now one of the rules of thumb is to check your scales early and often. So you'll want to maybe give it 30 seconds, pull it out, have a look. Put it in for more than 30 seconds, pull it out, have a look. Once you've got the right color in it, the color that you like, then take it out, take it over to the sink, give it a rinse off, and then that's got your color set on there. All right, so let's put it on hold there for a little bit, and we will be back with you. Now you can see, now she's been in there for about, I don't know, she's been on the stove for maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, and you can see she's starting to get that little bit of boil. But this is how much water I put in there for one pack of dye, as well as 1 cup of vinegar. So let's see, you've got her just on a nice low boil. That's kind of where we want it to be. Now I do believe you got to hit your water temperature of at least 200 degrees Fahrenheit for it to set and work. So we should be at around there with this low rolling boil. You don't want to be high as you can go, because you'll start to splatter and you'll get dye everywhere, and nobody wants that. Okay, looks like we're back, and now as you can see, the water is starting to have a roll kind of slow boil, almost like a simmer. I'm going to turn this down a little bit because I don't want it to be boiling so much that it's throwing kind of dye all over the place. We want to make sure that, but you got to make sure that you're at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for your dye to set in too as well. If you're not at that 200 degrees Fahrenheit, I don't think your dye will set. So now we want to timer 30 seconds. Like I said, we want to put everything in for 30 seconds, and you want to check your stuff often and early. Okay, so now we're trying the first go. So we got our first in there. Let's start it up. And let's see where we're at after 30 seconds. Now, I guess I've got 30 seconds to kill here. Not too sure what I should do. Oops. Hope everybody's been having a fun time with this COVID-19. I know that I have been. I'm doing stuff like this. Dyeing my knife scales. I really love the Spyderco Southard. What a quality knife. Oh, 30 seconds. And Looks like we've kind of got a burgundy. Looking good. I'm going to try 30 more seconds. Let's try 30 more seconds. Let's put it back in there. Timer, 30 seconds. Start. Now, you know that the Spyderco Southard is an absolutely gorgeous knife. Wicked, wicked knife. Very, very smooth. It's on bearings. Love the steel in it. And I love the finish of the Spyderco Southard blade. It's like a mere polished blade with a little bit of a stone washed on it. I guess very reminiscent of the Sleece Bowie's got that finish on it. Love that finish. Wish Spyderco did more finishes like that. Okay, so now we've been at 1 minute. Let's check her out right now. And let's see. Well, she looks very, very similar. I'm going to try this for 30 more seconds and then we'll see what happens there, okay? I don't think it's changing. I think it's pretty much maxed out its color, but we'll find out, okay? All right, hang on for 1 second. I just got to put the drain in the sink, because if that little tiny piece stopper comes off, it'll go right down the sink, and I don't want that to happen. And we're back. Okay, we've got 5 seconds left. Hopefully it's, there we go. All right, let's just see what we got happening here. Like I said, I don't think it's really changed from the first kind of 30-second dye that we did. But so far, I'm really liking this color. Okay, I'm just going to put this down for a second. We're going to rinse it off, and we will put the knife back together, and we'll see what it looks like. So we've dyed up the scales. Just do my little bit of a cleanup, and just to show you that this pot is toast. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be, and I was warned. It's an aluminum pot, and they're kind of porous. So I'm going to use this to, I have some more RIT dye. I've got some black if I ever need it. I've got some purple, and I've got some blue. So let's see if we can get this up there a little bit. Yeah, just fix that. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that camera there, folks. Yeah, I don't have to slouch. So, you know the pot's going to be toast. That's all right. I knew that. That was fine. That's a no-brainer. I just want to kind of clean it out. And as I'm kind of wiping it off, you can see that there is a little bit of dye still coming off on your paper towel. So it is, hopefully will dry. And then if I put some blue in there or some purple, the red doesn't come out. That's just kind of, I'm hoping. So, all right. Just want to let you know that the pot is toast. All right, we're coming back for the last time here on my dye job video, and drum roll please. What a gorgeous, gorgeous Spyderco Southard. So pleased with this. Flips like a dream, and I took it apart, cleaned it all up. Need to put a new lanyard on here, but I'm not too sure if this color is doing this justice. Man, it's a great color. It's I love it. Turned out to be like kind of a burgundy color. So that is my first RIT dye job. Looks like the regular powdered RIT dye will dye the G10 scales. You know what? It took about, say, 90 seconds for it to get to this color. But, you know, I think that after the first 30 seconds, it was this color anyway. So I did put some vinegar into the water. So I would probably say that I used about 3 cups of water, 1 cup of vinegar, 1 cup of RIT dye, brought it to a low rolling boil, and then I did 90 seconds with my scales, and it worked absolutely fantastic. I am so, so pleased. All right. Thanks very much for stopping by to see me. Please, please stay safe out there. Now, if you like what you saw, please give me the thumbs up. Please give me the subscribe. And yeah, like I said, stay safe out there. Listen to the expert. Keep the shiny side up. Keep your stick on the ice. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.